Hi, King Dan here. This video is called The Greatest Generation, Write Your Autobiography. The greatest generation is often attributed to those individuals who lived through and fought in World War II, and respectfully so. However, in my opinion, there is a generation that I want to acknowledge as truly being the greatest generation. Alright, so the greatest generation is the children of the Lord of the Second Advent, often referred to as the first generation. And these are indeed the first generation of kingdom citizens, and they really hold a amazing and providential responsibility, position, being that it's similar to Jesus' disciples, right? Jesus' disciples were the first generation of spiritual children of God. But the children of the Lord of the Second Advent actually have restored lineage to be the physical and biological children of the Lord of the Second Advent. And to get here, they had to restore the entire biblical history when Christianity did not accept Father. So unfortunately, a lot of them sacrificed their life and their families. It's some amazing stories of hardship, blood, sweat, and tears that it's just only they can kind of testify as having lived through it. And they received unending public persecution while doing and following Father. Yeah, it's quite amazing because if you look at biblical history, the first generation had to literally walk through periods of time equivalent in today's merit of the age to be parallel to that of the past. So for instance, there was in the Old Testament, slavery in Egypt could be realistically paralleled to the years of MFT. So I know I couldn't have withstand it, and I just wanted to praise the generation who could. So the second part of this video is really to encourage you to write your autobiography. This has been something that's been dear to me. Even when I was a family fed pastor for 3 years, you guys have so many amazing stories. It's just like, it's so humbling, so precious to listen to the stories and experiences of the first generation, no matter where they come from, of what they left behind to follow Father. And so I just wanted to really encourage you to write your autobiography. I don't remember what I was researching, but something in the last year or so, I actually found that Father was quite clear in saying the same thing. So I just saved these excerpts of Father's speeches as I found them, and I put them here in the slide. So Father wrote in 1991, "What will become an issue for you in the future is that one day you will have to write your autobiography. Such a time will come." That was in the original Cheongseongyung, and also in the original Cheongseongyung it says, "In the future, you all will have to write your autobiography. You will have to write honestly about your life after joining the Unification Church. When you enter the spirit world, you should be able to weep over your autobiography saying, 'Was I really able to do such works?' You should have to write this on earth, and then, when you are about to enter the heavenly kingdom, you have to get in line and pass through 160, 240, and 360 spiritual guards. If you lie, you will be struck by lightning on the spot. You cannot deceive them." So this was in 1998. And then this one's not from the Cheongseongyung. This one is just me researching and searching through the tparents.org. Actually, the year Father left for the spiritual world, he said, "Now you will need to write your autobiography together with your spouse, sharing with each other the themes to write." And then I cut some stuff out, but he says you should be able to write your autobiography every 10 years. So don't take my word for it. I really want to encourage you. Like it kind of is a little emotional for me now, and I don't really like that. But like I've been encouraging my parents to write their autobiography because I want 1,000 years from now the people in the future to be able to understand what kind of experiences you guys had to go through. I found another passage. It's not necessarily about an autobiography. It's actually more about a diary, but I liked what he said, so I wanted to include it. True Father wrote, "In the future, we must overcome everything. But before overcoming, we need to reorganize. Husband and wife should get together and write a diary. Next, you should get an official stamp of approval from your sons and daughters, and everyone should be registered. The age of registration is coming. Everything has to be liquidated. Then Satan will not follow us. Such a serious time is coming. So the blessed families should write diaries from now on. You cannot find some clever way around it. This passage becomes even more solemn if you think about it in the context of the last several years. And so I'm getting my parents to write their stories down, and really because I want my children to know my parents through their own words, just like we can understand God through the Old Testament, New Testament, and the completed Testament. So I want to encourage you to share what's the Holy Spirit is guiding you to share with your future generations. And I know that, in the silence and the still of night, that I'm sure you'll know what you want to leave behind. Thanks.